back on the Craftsman. Let's come over here and take a look at things. Went and cleaned out down there. Got to bolt that back in. But I did want to show you. There was another bushing right here that goes in between the bracket and the cross shaft. So the old one was all wore out right here. Here's the old one. Just nothing left of it. So got in my parts bin, took care of that. But real quick, let's go outside and I will tell you guys what all went wrong with Old Blue. Actually, only one thing went wrong, but I'll show you everything that I did. Alright, 1990 Chevy WT 1500 with a 4.3 liter V6. And you might notice nice pretty new gray plug wires. Ultimately, that was my issue, and I discovered it when I went to set the timing after replacing the cap and rotor and ignition module. Now the ignition module I had a lifetime warranty on, so there was no love loss there, nothing out of my pocket. It was just an exchange. That didn't cure my problem. Then I went to the distributor cap and rotor. I looked at my records and it was time for a new cap and rotor, so threw those on. That still didn't correct my misfire. So while I was setting the timing, number 3 cylinder wire bit me. That should not jump, it should not arc like that off the distributor cap, which is tucked back up in there. Should not have bit me. So that told me, oh dude, plug wires. Oh, and new spark plugs too. So that's all it was just the plug wires. But instead instead of doing it properly, keeping it simple stupid, I went to the extreme to troubleshoot this, when ultimately it was one of the first things that you would go after, spark plugs and plug wires. But now Old Blue is fat and happy and sassy and back to being his old self again. Let's get back inside, and it's really windy out, so I hope the sock that's on this microphone didn't have too much distortion with the wind. Alright, I'm gonna tackle putting all this back together. Once I get it all back together, we'll start her up, take her out, and see how she steers. So you guys don't need to sit here and watch me put this together. You all saw part 1 in what I did to rebuild the steering gear assembly, with the exception of it would have been nice if I'd had a pie gear like that to replace this bad one, because the pinion gear is still in pretty good shape. So anyway, I'll see you guys as soon as all this is slapped back together. I've got everything assembled far enough so that we can check and see. You guys remember how much this used to move? Now that's all the play. That's it. So I think we might have a winner. Well, she's all back in one piece. We're going to check out the steering here in just a little bit. First we're going to do a fix just using a drill and zip ties. Something old like this doesn't really matter. All I'm going to do is I'm going to stitch this crack here back together and stitch this crack over here back together. It's actually pretty easy to do. You just drill a series of holes, run zip ties through it, and crisscross them, cinch them up, and that'll pull and hold the plastics together. I'll show you when it's done. Well, this ain't no beauty queen. We've got that all stitched back together with some zip ties, and we come over here, got that all stitched together with some zip ties. It's holding together good. There's 2 brackets, a bracket here and a bracket here, that are mounted directly to the plastic, so when you open the hood, I'll show you, it flexes those brackets there and bracket here, and these were all bent up, so I straightened those out, and you can see the inside of the stitching. So, and of course, just like any good surgeon, Dr. Zippo left the stitch knots on the outside instead of the inside. Alright. Now let's go put it through its paces. Well, it's breezy out. It's time to put this thing through its paces and see if it's going to behave. The ignition switch is turning kind of hard. Park and brake on, throttle up, key. Well, the battery she included was good because that's what I used to start it. So we all know that I can already go left, right? Correct. No problems at all. Let's see how she mows. Deck's already down. I'd say she's raring and ready to go. Minimal work. Took about a day and a half of working on it, and it'll make somebody a half decent little riding mower. Of course, they call them a lawn tractor, but they're not lawn tractors. I mean, that's just my take on it. There we go. Ready to move on to a new owner. I showed you guys the steering is pretty tight. That play right there is just right up here. That's not down at the gear. Alright. See you later, Craftsman. That's it, guys. I'm gonna wrap it up. That one's done. Time for me to go get some lunch on this very hot day. So if you would please, give me a big old thumbs up and we will catch you on the next one. Later. I'm out of here.